Welcome back, it's me, Lou. I'm here for another action figure unboxing and review, and today we are putting the spotlight on this. This is from the G.I. Joe Classified series by Hasbro. We have the Special Missions Cobra Island Gabriel Barbecue Kelly action figure. Okay, so as of this video, it's December 3rd, 2021. I found this action figure maybe a day or two ago at my local Target. It's kind of surprising because the Cobra Island stuff, for some reason, it always seems like it's impossible to find. But Target, on one of their end caps, they had a bunch of action figures out because, it's the holiday season. Everyone's doing their Christmas shopping. And they had this on the shelf, and it was next to some of the newer Masters of the Universe Revelation figures. It was next to one of the Transformers, let me grab it real quick. It's a weird figure. I know this is a G.I. Joe video review, but I just wanted to grab it because it's a weird figure. Yeah. So I found this figure on a Target end cap, and they were showcasing a bunch of other figures that were, available. And it was next to this, which kind of caught me off guard. The Monsters Dracula Transformer Draculus figure. And I thought this was supposed to be a maybe like a Hasbro Pulse exclusive or online store exclusive. I didn't realize Target was going to be carrying this, and it's pretty neat. So if you're a Transformers guy, keep a lookout for a video review. I definitely want to review this guy. But yeah, so if you're at Target and just walk around, chances are you might find this guy on an end cap, not the actual shelf with the other classified figures. Because I went to two different Targets, and both of these figures were showcased on an end cap, not with their normal assortment of toys. Alright, so back to Barbecue. So yeah, I was surprised to find this guy. Normally the Cobra Island stuff sells out pretty fast. But my Target, they must have had at least 8 copies of this figure when I got to the store. And I haven't kept up to date with the G.I. Joe Classified stuff. I knew this guy was coming out, but I didn't realize it was going to be this soon. So I immediately grabbed him. Didn't want to pass up on him because, for one, it looks cool as hell. And it's Barbecue. Barbecue is, for me, he has one of the most memorable G.I. Joe episodes from the original cartoon in the 80s. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, this is a very eye-catching figure. It's nice because it's not like a reuse of the Duke body. We've got, there's the Duke figure that came out way back when, maybe March or February of 2020. And they've reused that body a couple of times already. I believe Flint reuses that body, and there might be another character also. But this is nice to get a completely new character altogether. It's a nice new sculpt, and cool new accessories, and I'm excited about it. I love this illustration here. If you watch some of my reviews on the classified stuff, sometimes these illustrations are hit or miss with me. This one is superb. I think this is a great interpretation of the character. And on the side, it looks awesome too. It looks really badass. So yeah, we have Barbecue here. On the one side, it lists all his stats, perks, and abilities. And if you go to the G.I. Joe website, there's some sort of thing that could decipher what these all mean. Love that illustration. On the back, I'm tired of Cobra Island. Please, Hasbro, swap this out for something new. It feels lazy to me. I know it's Cobra Island, here's Cobra Island, but we've seen this for well over a year already. I'm tired of it. I say this time and time again, give us a file card. Please give us a file card. Let us know, give us the biographical information about the character, especially since there's so many collectors who are new to G.I. Joe, or, they might have forgotten it. And because they didn't provide information on Barbecue, I went ahead online and I found his old file card so we could talk about him here. So Barbecue, he's a firefighter. That goes without saying. His full name is Kelly, Gabriel A. Here's his social security number. He's a specialist. He's a fireman. His second specialist skill, he's infantry. He was born in Boston, Massachusetts. It talks about if Kelly hadn't joined G.I. Joe, he would have been the 7th Kelly in his direct line in the Boston Fire Department. So he carries on the legacy of like his family or firefighters. His love for his job is not based on family loyalty or even a more general sense of duty. He simply likes riding on the back of the fire truck with the wind in his face and siren wailing, lights flashing and the bells clanging. Being allowed to knock down doors and smash windows with his axe is just a frosting on the cake. Barbecue is what you call your basic party animal. He can open bottles with his teeth, pick up quarters with his ears, and wrap his lips completely around the bottom of a quart Coke bottle. You may well ask how all this affects his function as the G.I. Joe firefighter. It doesn't. It simply makes him a more interesting fellow to have around. Yeah, so I missed that. I missed that kind of description that, Hasbro used to include with the G.I. Joes. It was fun getting a file card because it filled in the holes and it kind of like sparked your imagination as a kid of what this character was like, especially if you didn't read the comic books or watch the cartoons, or if the character had very limited airtime on the cartoon. At least you had some sort of background information on them. And I really wish Hasbro would, take the time out and just give us these again. It's not that hard. I'm sure they have a copywriter on staff that could easily just come up with something, or even just get Larry Hama from, back in the day and just have him rewrite these things. But yeah, I missed these a lot. Wish they would bring them back. Alright, with that being said, let's take a look at Barbecue, who is my second favorite G.I. Joe member, who deals with fires and flame retardant gear. Truth be told, I'm a bigger fan of Blowtorch, just because I think Blowtorch is a little bit more badass looking, but I still like Barbecue all the same. And as I stated earlier, Barbecue actually has, he's the main character in my favorite episode of like the G.I. Joe 80s cartoon, or at least one of my favorite episodes. So in the original 80s cartoon, there's an episode called The Viper is Coming, and I'm going to get my details confused, so just bear with me. So in that episode, I think it starts off like the Joes are having like some sort of barbecue or picnic. And I think Barbecue is manning the grill or something. And then they get a phone call. And it's all they hear is this like raspy kind of voice giving them like coordinates or numbers. And the Joes don't know what to make sense of it. They think it's like some sort of cryptic message. And every time this guy calls, he tells them like a specific time or location. And it coincides with some sort of like hit that Cobra's planning. And by the end of it, I don't want to spoil the episode. All I remember is it's a very memorable episode for me, and it shines the spotlight on Barbecue. He's the main character of the episode, and I don't know, I just got a kick out of that episode. And as a child, for whatever reason, it just left an impression on me. And to this day, whenever I think of the G.I. Joe cartoon, that's the one episode that always, comes straight to my mind. Alright, so what we have here is Barbecue. First impressions of the action figure while it's still in the tray. Awesome. I love the fact that this is a dude that's a firefighter, so he's not wearing your standard military gear. I don't know if his original costume was based on anything factual, but for me, it looks great. It's very sci-fi kind of, especially with the helmet. In some ways, he almost looks like Optimus Prime. Accessory-wise, he comes with his backpack, which looks to be like some sort of like, I don't know if these are fire extinguishers or whatever they are, but it's neat. Some nice details printed on them. There's some icons there. I don't know what they represent. The one's a warning. I can't tell what the other ones are. Alright, so he comes with his axe. He comes with a hose, which looks like it plugs into one end here. And I believe the other end of the hose plugs into this piece here. So I believe this is, if I had to guess, I'm guessing this is probably like some sort of fire extinguisher. And this is the canisters, and then the hose connects to both ends. I'm not going to connect the hose right now. I'm lazy, forget about it. He comes with this cool little mini hatchet. It's awesome. It's wild too, because you look at his fireman's axe. In real life, this serves a purpose. They use it to break down doors, whatever. This thing, it's like it's wicked. It's like has like brass knuckles that are spiked, and it has an axe, so he could punch someone in the face and seriously do some damage to their face. Or if he wants to, he could go ahead and dismember them. So it's a wild weapon. And if you don't care for much for the fire extinguisher gimmick, you could just tell yourself maybe this is some sort of crazy pistol, and say that's a silencer at the end of it if you wanted to. All right, so I'm not going to take out the axe or the hose. If you want to really check that out, I'm sure someone else on YouTube will look at that for you, but I don't want to deal with it right now. I'm lazy. But we are going to look at the figure. So what we have is Barbecue. Right off the bat, my biggest disappointment with this figure, if any, is the fact that his helmet does not come off. In that one episode I described, he goes through, I think, most of that episode without his helmet. And the character has so much personality that it's a crime that you can't remove the helmet. I'm looking right now to see if this is the kind of helmet that I can just pop right off. Because ideally what I would love to do is, I might do this in a future video if I get around to it. I want to pop off the helmet and see if I have maybe a Marvel Legends head that's compatible that'll fit on here, because I'd love for me, if I ever display this, to have him holding the helmet in like one arm and have him just be unmasked. Because for me, Barbecue is 90% all personality. And I think anything else for me is just secondary, because I love the personality of the character so much. He's a party animal, and if you watch that episode I'm talking about, I don't know, maybe you'll fall in love with him like I did. I think he's a great character. So yeah, this is this action figure, very impressive right off the bat. Like I said, I love the fact that he's not in standard military gear. He's very unique looking. In some cases, if it wasn't Barbecue specifically, I think it'd be a fun army builder. Like if you wanted to build up, like maybe there's a core of like Joes who are just strictly firefighters, and you could buy a bunch of these. Maybe do head swaps so it's different characters. And then you can have one actually just be Barbecue, and he's in charge of that. Awesome figure. I'm already looking at this. It's cool because he has a holster, so you can put his fire extinguisher pistol deal in there. He has a clip here, which I believe is for this. So I'm not sure if I'm doing this right. But it looks like maybe this clip's in here, I think. I'm probably doing this wrong, and someone's probably screaming at their screen saying I'm doing it wrong. I'll have to check out someone else's video or something. But there is a clip here. I don't know what it's for. I'm guessing it's for the Hatchet, I think. I'll worry about that later. Hole in his back, peg here, plug it in. Alright, just wait. I'm not sure if it's lined up correctly. Alright, I can't get the hole to line up on the hole on the vest, I can't get it to line up correctly with the hole that's on his back. And then when I try plugging it in, it kind of, especially with the arch of his back here, it doesn't want to lay flush. You know what I mean? It's not going to lay flat on his back. It looks like it's going to protrude outward like that. So I'm not sure if that's just my figure, so you might want to check out someone else's review. And I can't adjust the vest enough to align the holes correctly. So that might be a problem right there. And there's a socket here. I believe you store the axe right there. So I believe the hatchet's for this right here. Articulation wise, his head rotates. It's on a ball joint. There's a lot of range of motion for this guy. You could go this way, go that way, you can look down, you can look up. His arms rotate, they go out, biceps swivel, double pinned elbows, wrist articulation. If he has an ab crunch, I can't tell because this is a pretty dense plastic that covers his torso pretty full, so it's not going to bend. Waist swivel. You can kick up, you can kick out. Double pinned knees. Boots cut, so you can swivel at the boot. Ankle articulation. Detail wise, they didn't cut any corners. Just look at that. The sculpting's nice. nice crisp details. I love this vest with probably, I'm guessing, a respirator, pouches, clean details all around. I kind of wish on the Joe figures that they'd provide this vest accessory with a means of removing it. There's no clasp. It's just all one solid piece. It'd be nice if you could actually detach it so you could swap it onto other figures. I think someone once said all you need to do is kind of remove the arms from the, from the upper shoulder, and then you might be able to slide this off. But it's kind of a tight fit. I don't know if I'd be successful with that. If I could, I might hunt down another one of these figures, just so I could kind of like take it apart and possibly make a custom and to see what's underneath this vest, because I think the base body looks kind of interesting. He has a pouch sculpted onto this arm here. I like the forearm gauntlets. They're nice and clean. The respirator deal is kind of neat. It'd be nice if they had like hoses connecting it to his face, but then he'd look like a TIE fighter pilot or something. Yeah, great figure all around. Not disappointed. The only thing that bothers me is the backpack. It's like I said, I can't get the holes on the vest to align with the hole in the back of the figure. And when I could get it somewhat plugged in, it's not resting flat on his back. So you may want to check someone else's YouTube review and see, if they're successful getting it plugged in. Because it's bothersome to me that there's that gappy space here. Ideally, I would have liked it if, you could plug it in and it lays flat on his back like this. But that's not the case, so I don't know what's going on. It just might be me. And since we're on the subject of barbecue, bam, we have OG barbecue. So this is like the original figure. This was not my original childhood toy because I didn't have him as a child. So as I've stated before in previous videos, I'm the friend that never grew up. I'm the one that's in that state of arrested development. I suffer from Peter Pan syndrome. Even though I'm a fully grown man and an adult with responsibilities, I'm not like my friends. Most of my friends are all settled down and married, and when they reach that point of responsibility in their life, the minute they got into like serious relationships or had kids or got married or whatever, or bought a house, I was the one that inherited all their toys, all their comic books, all their video games. For whatever reason, I'm not sure if it's the missus that said you can't have this stuff anymore, but many a times, I'd have friends that show up at the house with a box. Take this, it's their box of toys, their collectibles, their comic books, and I am not one to say no. So in one of those events, I received this guy. This guy was broken. I managed to fix him, gave him a new rubber band. And at the time, unfortunately, I didn't know you could buy replacement screws. So I went to the hardware store and found the closest screw that fit. And unfortunately, it's not the correct screw. So this guy has a screw in him that's going to be in him forever because I'm not going to be able to get this screw out. But here is the original barbecue. As you can see, the new one's a nice homage to the original one. They didn't take too many liberties, if any. They kind of kept all the key features on them, like the upper chest plate, the respirator. They added some additional pouches. I like the new gloves on the new guy because this guy didn't really have gloves. I mean, he had gloves, but they weren't as cool as this. They have the same amount of holsters, the boots. I kind of like how this one, towards the bottom of his boots, it kind of, the legs of his pants kind of billow up. I kind of like that puffy look. Whereas here, it's a little bit more tucked in, which kind of creates it a little bit more streamlined. But I do like the puffy look on the pant leg. I think it looks neat. On the back, this guy's body armor carries down his spine, whereas this one, it always stops at the upper shoulder. So yeah, cool figure. If I had to rate this guy numerically on a scale of 1 to 10, an easy 8. An 8 at the lowest, 8.5 at the highest. The only thing holding it back, like I said, is that I'm having issues with the backpack. It's not plugging in as clean as I'd like. It might just be me, but as you can see, it's kind of gappy and I can't get the holes to align. I would have loved it if his helmet came off and we saw his face. It's not like he's a mysterious character like Snake Eyes. If you look in the comic books and in the cartoon, you know what this guy looks like. It's a guy from Boston, Massachusetts. So I kind of wish they would have given him a removable helmet. But, it's a nice figure. It's great. So if you can find this at your Target, I highly suggest you get it. For whatever reason, the Joe stuff doesn't come out as frequently as like some of like the other Hasbro lines, like Power Rangers or whatever. Like Power Rangers, for some reason, that line's been consistent. They've delivered new figures like consistently. Star Wars Black Series, not so much. I'm seeing the same two figures consistently at Target. Classified stuff right now, it's just Cobra Commander, Flint, and Lady J. I haven't seen anything new for a long time. So if you see this guy, pick him up. You won't regret him. He's excellent. So let's close this video out. Once again, my name is Lou. Thank you so much for checking this out. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are a returning viewer, subscriber, thank you so much for your support, likes, and comments. I greatly appreciate it. So until the next video, be safe, take care of yourself, buy lots of toys, and be happy. So I'll talk to you later. Later.